as I'm walking. I was going with this girl at Hollywood High School, and I remember taking her home one night, and she really didn't like me that well. I think she liked my car, or something, I don't know. But she was going out with friends of mine, you know, the old thing, after I'd take her home. And so I was taking her home and driving down Laurel Canyon, and Elvis's record came on the radio, and she did this whole thing about Elvis and everything, and I thought, oh, I have to say something, and I said, well, I'm going to make a record, you know, and she laughed and thought that was really funny, and I thought right then, I said, I'm going to make a record, if it's just one record, and I'm going to hand it to her and say, now laugh.
Rick singing a rhythm and blues tune, and the rest of us will give him a little moral support.
Good deal. What do you want to sing, Rick?
How about I'm Walking?
Fine, I'll make the announcement.
Do you think it's all right for him to sing, too?
Oh, sure. It's a great experience for him.
It was an afterthought to do it on the show. It wasn't planned, you know. And they thought, you know, my dad thought it would be a good idea to just to do it. And so I did. And, like, it sold 1 million records in a week. Started... this booing started happening, and I thought, oh, yeah, I got to get out of here. I mean, there's 22,000 people booing you. It's a real frightening thing. And in a way, I just kind of, I said, well, you know, I'll just sort of get into this, you know, get into them not liking me. I still really don't know what it was, other than maybe we didn't dress like the 50s. I didn't know why at the time, but then I started thinking about it, and that's when I wrote the song. It was an actual learning process for me. Now, a lot of my friends aren't here anymore, which is very sad for me, you know, because, I mean, they're really good friends of mine. And there are people like Eddie Cochran and a fellow named Gene Vincent, who had a lot of hits back when rock and roll was just getting started. Buddy Holly. You can go on and on. Richie Valens, and you know, all these kind of people who contributed a lot musically in the 50s when I started. And of course Elvis, and he was a very good friend of mine, and I feel very sad about that. I'm always amazed that my dad was able to keep everything together like he did. I mean, keep the show together and keep the family together. You know, because that's a whole other thing about having to coexist. The first year that I went out, you know, I was 16, and I was playing to, you know, 20,000 people here and 20, you know, and everybody was calling me Mr. Nelson, and Mr. Nelson this, and I thought, whoa, this is great. You know, I've never hadn't experienced that either. You know, sort of that whole being waited on, and can I get you this and that, and I can remember going back home, and the first thing that I heard was, you know, something about why don't you pick up your clothes, or you dropped your clothes in the hall here, and I thought, well, you know, who are they talking? They're talking to Mr. Nelson. You know, what is this? And I know things like that. It would straighten me around real quick. You know, we were doing a live radio show when I was 8 years old, and we just went right into television from that. So it was really like 22 years altogether. I wouldn't make anybody happy if I was home all the time. I don't know why, but that's, maybe I'm selfish or something, I don't know, but I feel what I'm doing is what I'm doing, and I almost don't have any control over I wouldn't do something else very well, because I want to do what I'm doing. I don't see myself growing older. I've never known what it is to act like a grown-up. I mean, how do you... It's kind of like all of a sudden you're supposed to be 30 years old or whatever it is, and somebody said, okay, now you're a grown-up, and you act like you're 30 years old. I mean, it really doesn't happen in what I'm doing, and maybe that's part of the thing that's attractive to me, because I mean, you don't get old, I guess. I don't know.